I'm back. Dr. Lucy here from Real Life Medicine. Sorry, I had a couple of days in absentia. Um, so it's interesting, and I don't need to bang on too much, but basically, I just got a bit overworked, I suppose would be the answer. My cup was full, and I decided to take my own advice and just have a couple of days of kind of not doing a lot. I did have to go to work, but yesterday I actually read a book, which was, I haven't read a book for pleasure for a long time. So it was beautiful. So, anyway, I think it is just an example that sometimes when you've got too much on your plate, you do need to take a little step back and just take a few things off your load. Now we've been talking, we've been talking for one day about how to love your liver. So our liver, one of our most vital organs, very difficult to replace, and it needs nurturing, loving, and we need to be so grateful for all the things that it does for us. So we talked on Monday about fatty liver, and morning Bronwyn, how are you, sweet? And fatty liver being one of the most common liver disorders and exponentially rising to be one of the most common causes of liver transplant. Can you imagine? You need a liver transplant because of fatty liver. So we talked what the causes of fatty liver. On Monday, we talked about fructose, how it's a sugar that isn't used in our body and so gets converted straight to fat and stored in the liver. So fructose is a component obviously of fruit, but particularly of juice, where you get to have a massive dose of fructose. And then combined, it's also part of sucrose, so normal sugar. So we talked about, in order to love your liver, you need to reduce your sugar, reduce your fructose, and we also touched on alcohol. So today what I'm going to talk to you about is actually other things to be mindful of that can impact your liver. So certainly medications, okay? We need to be really aware that medications can affect livers, and quite often when you're put on a medication, you may be asked to have liver function tests. So if you've got already an underlying like fatty liver, so your liver, I always think of fatty liver. Liver is full, and it weeps. It weeps enzymes out as a mechanism to say it's damaged. So that's how we tell on a blood test. Your enzymes will be up. So just imagine your poor liver weeping out enzymes, and then we go and give you a medication that's going to be potentially toxic to the liver as well. So interestingly, some of the more common medications are part of this. So things like Panadol, okay, paracetamol is in small doses is fine, but in larger doses and consumed regularly, which many people do, is problematic. So if you've already got a liver that's struggling and you take 6 or 8 Panadol every day, then that liver is that's not going to be helpful for your liver. It's going to struggle to process it all, and it becomes a toxin. Things like certainly some of antibiotics. People think, oh, antibiotics, I'll just knock it on the head. I'll just take it just in case. 2 of our really common antibiotics, so Augmentin, and then one called Fluclox, which is not prescribed as much anymore, highly toxic to livers and have been big causes of people needing hospitalisation to rest their liver. So again, I'm just sort of saying don't not take them, but be mindful, okay, and think, do I actually need this? Some herbal treatments also toxic to liver, in particular black cohosh. Now that's in a lot of formula that are things like menopausal relief. Need to be mindful that just because it's natural doesn't mean that it's not a problem. So black cohosh in particular, if you've got stuff with black cohosh in it, just be mindful of it. So I think the summary of all of this is that our liver is such a bloody workhorse, processes medications, processes a lot of herbal things, stores, um, it's the powerhouse. It makes proteins. It processes our fat. So when, we talk about ketones, that all goes on in the liver. The liver is the thing that does it. So love your liver, folks, because it does everything that we need it to do. Tomorrow I'm going to talk about some blood tests and just go through a little bit, and again, not super detailed, but a little bit about what they mean and actually what you can look out for. I think it was my accountant that says things like, know your numbers, Lucy. You need to know your numbers. And I'm saying, peeps, you need to know your numbers. You need to be able to look at a liver function test. They're not hard. And know whether it's actually okay or not. All right, darlings, take wonderful care of yourselves. Love your livers, love yourselves, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye, sweets.